be oversexualized and that's it. Is that what we saying today?
Look, I mean, so what Ranye presented, what I presented, what Mel presented, there is things that are coming from every side. And so I believe the parent has to do the best that they can and be secure in doing the best that they can. And hopefully, with everything that's coming from different ways, you know, stay prayed up, that your child will take what you have given them and apply it. And also, like you were saying
That's only
earlier,
going to work. Hold on.
Okay.
That's only going to work if it's a parent that is willing to break the cycle.
Look, train a child in the way they should go, and also be doing train.
Come on. So I guess the parents may have to, you know, hopefully they're as worried as like a lot of us are about the over sexualized entertainment and things that's going around in the neighborhood and in their home. So they are paying attention, as Mel's saying, to the surroundings. And so they know how to limit some of those things that are coming from all sides.
Right. And I want to chime in on what the brother just said as well too. And there was a friend of mine who lives in LA, and she had a documentary that she had posted. And I kid you not, y'all, when I watched this video, my heart literally was ripped out of my chest, and I started crying. Let me set up the scene for you. There was a stripper in the middle of a classroom, and the teachers had the kids on the floor watching this stripper do her dance. I'm gonna let that marinate for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
I kid you not. I watched that video for at least 5 minutes, and I was emotional and I was angry at the same time, because I have cousins that are around the age bracket. I have nieces, I have nephews, because my mom's side of the family is massive. They're really, really huge. So is my dad's family as well. When I watched that video, it shows you that anytime you have a school system, especially in America, that has ripped away everything that echoes and reflects God in the situation, because anything that is out of divine order, this is what you get. And not only that, but then also there was another video that I saw a couple of weeks ago where they had a transsexual sitting down with children, dressed up and everything, full makeup, all the whole nine, sitting down and was reading books to the children as well. And teachers were like, they're okay with this. So my point that I'm saying to you all is this, especially with parents. Your ear gates and your eye gates are the most sensitive instruments that are on the human body. And once you come in contact with something, guess what happens? You begin to absorb everything that is in front of you, negative and positive. Okay? So if the parent, which is technically speaking on God's terms, the first teachers that tell your children, male and female, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're not going to do. And not only that, but if your son or daughter is grown enough to ask you those questions, especially those adult-like questions, you might as well go ahead and tell them, this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. Okay? I don't care what they're doing over here. But what we doing in this house right here, this is what we're going to abide by. But because I've had friends of mine that would tell me stories of how their parents would try to make them their best friend and would smoke weed with them, crack with them, drink with them, and everything else, and not be the disciplinarian and the teacher at the same time in their own home structure. This is what happens. So you're setting your child up for failure. And you're exposing them to all kind of levels of darkness as well. We know that this is what's happening because the word of God already said it and it was stated. But at the same time, what are we going to do? So if the parents are not doing their part, I would hope and pray that the community will step up and do something. Like the African proverb says, hey, we're in the midst of a village. So the village must step up and do their part to say, hey, don't do that. Let me tell you why you shouldn't do that. You know, it's the same thing as if a young man was walking around and his pants was sagging. And I would tell them the reason why that. Did you even know where that came from? Because if you know your history behind some of these things, they're going to repeat it over and over again. That's why you have that poisonous, vicious cycle. And there's some young men that don't even know why they're sagging their pants. I'm just using it as an example. And they're like, nah, like either they're like, no, we don't know, or some of them are just rebellious and they say, well, we don't really care. And if they really don't care, that I still tell them anyway, well, guess what? They're going to look at you and tell you that, okay, this is how you're acting. And let me give you a backdrop on why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you don't come in and teach the children the difference between what this is and what that is, again, I reiterate, they're going to repeat it over and over again, and then it's passed on to their children, to their children's children. Now you got a generational issue and a generational trauma that's in front of you. So when you got your school system being exposed by so many things, that's an issue. So on one hand, I do understand that there are parents that want to keep their children home and teach them themselves and go by the curriculum. That's cool too. You know, if you feel like that's the best thing for you to do, do it. But I know that there are some children that are feeling like a fish out of water. They need to be in the school so that they can feel like they have that teacher to student interaction as well. So they want to have that camaraderie. I get that. I understand that. So yeah, this is a catch-22 situation, but know the fact that if the parents are not present, then what's going to happen to the children?
Man, that was a lot. I mean, I was gonna ask y'all, but I don't even know if should. I mean, well, one, I didn't watch the film, so I can't really give an accurate observation of it. But now that I brought it up, I guess I might as well ask, what y'all think of Cuties? Have y'all heard about it?
Cuties.
What is that?
No.
Sorry.
Y'all
No, I have not with that.
You haven't heard about it either, right? Okay.
No,
Well,
I
apparently
have
there's
not.
a movie on Netflix. Movie, documentary, show, one of those that it's all about like some 11-year-olds on a twerk team.
Oh wow.
And
Oh, wait a second. Oh, my friend told me about this. Yes. Okay, came back to me now. Yes. Go ahead, continue, please.
The loss.
you said you still lost. Yeah, apparently this is on Netflix now. I mean,
I'm the loss because I can't even imagine what that is because I have a problem watching the dancing that perform.
oh, like Dance Moms.
So you're telling me about a show about young people twerking. Oh Lord.
Like straight up, so I want to show but see, the only way I could do it is show y'all like this picture on my phone, which is kind of lame. Because I didn't.
It's
but
a
y'all
Netflix
promo. Yeah, I've seen some of the promo. You know how they have like movie poster type of thing. One of them is like the darkest girl. Okay, but anyway, the darkest girl is like and that one of those face down positions on the promo. And you know, I've only seen some clips. I haven't been inclined to watch it, but I have seen both sides. I've seen people that are straight up like, we need to, you know, boycott Netflix. This should not be on here. But then I've seen a couple of people that be like, oh, y'all are tripping. This ain't what people are trying to say it is. But I don't know how it could not be. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched it myself, but
So I have it up. I can play the trailer.
y'all want to see the trailer?
I need to see the trailer here. Go ahead. Let's see the trailer.
All right.
I'm lost. If it's anything like Lord Jesus.
Look, so I haven't looked at it, so I'm be watching it
Sweet
with
Jesus.
y'all.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the trailer either. I just seen like people talking about it. And,
hold on, let me turn these back lights out so you can have a better view.
I have issue with the scenes that be on TV, like these girls and they dancing routines for me. I just, yeah.
All right, I'm about to play.
And the parents understand. Yeah, that's my baby. Yeah, and I'm like, really?
All right, here we go.
What happened to the simple competition dance where it wasn't so much of a?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, like club dancing. Lord.
In the bodies of uncovered women. You waste such father's witty. You're where are you? In the small town, my community failed. I'm sorry. No. You stole it? You stole it? I don't believe it. What game are you playing on me? Who are you? There's no time. Wash this into me. Oh, you running?
All of that is so wrong.
That's it.
Okay, so all right. I'm gonna have to go here. I got something in mind, but how do you and this is being on the kids, right? This is like a rated, this is a PG, this is what is classified as?
It's TV MA. TV MA. And it's interesting that I feel like they're African, but isn't that part of their, I mean, in a sense, it's part of their culture, like Africans and Jamaican.
Okay. So that's what the difference is. Oh, so maybe they should name it something better than Turk.
What they call it, as far as in the description, they call it free spirited dance.
So Ryan looks like he got all the things to say. I mean, well, look, y'all, it didn't look so bad. It looked like it was gonna be a
It's one of those. Is it one of those films where you see a little girl is watching it? She's like, "Oh, I want to do that," and you're like, no.
I think what a lot of people feel the problem comes in.
I'm gonna have to watch. I'm gonna have to Netflix, and I'm literally gonna have to watch the entire thing.
I mean, I guess we'll talk
That's
about
one
it
of those
then.
movies where I'm gonna have to watch it, and I'm put my 2 cents.
Yeah, like the difference or the thing that's the problem with it, or, well, from what I'm hearing, that the problem that people have with it is the fact that these are kids, and the fact that like, well, from what I've seen, some people were talking about like some of the angles is like right under where they, their hind
Look,
parts.
that was in the trailer when they fell down on each other and boom.
You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And then they were talking about, well, the process of a film is people, actually auditioning. So what was that like? You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So I think that's probably where people had the problem. But then I heard someone else.
They could have used older people to do this versus kids. I mean.
But then somebody said this is like a coming of age
so
film. Like that's
borderline.
That's what they were saying. Like, this is like easy access for people for pedophilia is what people have problems with it. And the ones that are saying, let's boycott Netflix, this is crazy. But then on the other end, you're hearing people that's like, oh, this is just a coming of age film. This isn't, this is not that. But I don't know. Like I said, I ain't
look, that's how they wrote it. They wrote it to seem like a coming of age because it's 11-year-old and you're technically a woman at, menstrual cycle, which usually happen around 12.
What? Okay. I'm sorry. So, you ain't no woman, man. Like,
I mean, so back in the day, remember, back in the day, you considered a woman once you went through your menstrual.
They are considered that. They are considered that 11, 12 they're women and they expect them to go out and get husband and bear kids, and that's culture. I don't know which one it is, but I heard that somewhere on TV, and I can't remember what that was. The girl like, no, she doesn't want to do that, and the father like, no, we're doing that. The mama hard on, you're 11, 12, you're about to be 12. This is womanhood. You need to go out. Find a man, you need to find a husband, so you bear kids, blah, blah. And I'm thinking like, well, but I'm not sure.
That as an arrangement.
Yes,
it's just that. And I'm
trying to think of culture that was it. It was. What do you call those people at fairs? A lot of fair. Oh God, they are associated with like fairs, the fairs. And I can't go. Oh my gosh. But they're considered. Keep going. It's gonna come to me.
Okay. So I get what she's saying, but yeah, like in certain cultures, but even like for our I guess you can call them ancestors, but like back in the day, once you've gone through that process, you're a woman. And like you're saying, you're gonna get married and you're expected to have kids. And prime example was like in Color Purple. In Color Purple, they was just kids, but they hit womanhood, and you got to go make a family. You got to be somebody's wife.
I mean, so are we saying that that's what we're getting ready to do?
No,
nowadays?
That's not what
that's what we.
That's not. Look, that's not the idea for these young women today. But it's still like that in certain places. I feel that, just like Ryan was saying earlier, it has to start within the household, and hopefully those parents care enough about their kids to want to see a different cycle than what they gone through as kids, and want better for their kids, want a better future for them. And so it has to start at home, and take from there, and just look, this is what we doing.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all remember like the wave of videos that came in, and you would see the moms with their daughters, and they're encouraging them as they were twerking throughout the videos and stuff. We're talking like 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, whatever. And the mom is all about it. You know what I mean? Like that, like to them, it's a sense of freedom. But at the same time, they don't understand that everything that you're doing is being backed by a spirit. We live in a spirit-led world, and many people don't understand that. So it's not just about human flesh, we're talking about spiritual matters, spirit-led situations. And the young girls don't know what they do. They think it's, it's all well and good. It's like, hey, I'm just dancing. I'm, willy-nilly. But they don't understand that you're conjuring the spirit from an older man who happens to be a pedophile, and he's been like that on the down low for the longest. And the grandmama know it, the mama know it, the aunt know it, and everybody else know it. But in Black culture, we don't talk about these situations because why? You got to keep it on the hush hush. It's a family secret. You got to be quiet. My mother told me about this with one of my uncles, and how he was looking at her and would pull her in and say things like, "You were always my favorite," like creepy stuff, just nasty stuff all the way around. And when we're talking about videos like this, trailers like this, and you see young girls doing these things, you're conjuring up a spirit. It's a very seductive thing, and maybe it is in certain African dances, whatever. But however, it's very sexually driven, and it's going to spur up something in a man's testosterone level, because he's going to think of the very first thing that's on his mind, which is going to be something sexual, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, where is the line drawn in the sand? That's what I want to know. Because when you see things like this, like, wait a second, hold on, we got a little off point here, and for the brother to say like, oh, this particular film is going to be for mature audiences. Well, what do you mean by mature audience? And what age does that start with? Are you saying 13, 14, 15? I don't know. Because that can go a very, very long way.
Right. But remember, back in the day, mature audience used to be 18 and older.
Correct. Yes.
But then it makes you like, why would 18 and olders want to be watching this?
Because I remember you couldn't even buy a movie ticket unless you was 18 for something TVMA rated. Even rated R, you could not buy. An adult had to come and purchase those tickets because you are considered underage. So for them to create a kid or a coming of age, technically, well, really, nobody can watch it unless you're 18 years or older. So, yeah, who are your audience? Like, who did you write, produce, and write?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The writers knew exactly who their target audience was. They knew it going in when they were getting ready to cast the different members in the film, the different roles in the film. They knew exactly what they were doing. It was already set up from day one. They knew exactly what audience they were going to target. Me personally, I wouldn't watch it because that bothers me a lot. Because again, you are pushing young women, little girls, teenagers, 12, 13, 14 years old, and you're forcing them into an adult-like situation, an adulthood situation, and they're not ready for it. They're not mature at all. Okay? Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually, financially, none of that stuff. And to me, again, this is another agenda that the enemy has created so that it can continue to distort the vision on the people. And if we don't continue to keep bringing these things up and addressing the matter for what it is, it's going to get worse, you know, and that bothers me personally because I'm not going to sit there and watch it because I'm like, no, there's nothing freedom about that or free spirit, as he said, about that either. Like, not cool. Not cool in my book.
Right. I definitely agree. I agree.
So Miracle and Casey, you actor as well?
Oh, he's still an actor?
Or just you, Miracle?
Oh, she's asking me a question?
Yeah, I think so.
Who else an actor? Just you, Miracle?
Kelvin does.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a crazy question because you two have auditioned for shows as an actor and actress. If you were that age, would you audition or something like that? How would it make you feel?
So
just
like,
think of it as a child. How would you feel?
So if I was, so as a child, and you have these dreams and aspirations, like you should your parents should be a part of the process first. But as a child, and you have these aspirations to be an actor, an actress, and you want to, you know, go into the business. For that child, their mindset is like, okay, well, I want to be on TV. I want to live my dreams. Now, I feel like the parent should come in at that point when it comes to role selection and auditioning, like, okay, well, I read the script. You ain't doing this. We gonna find something else that's appealing or that's right for your age bracket, versus doing something like this. Now, as they get older in the business and maybe they want to try some, say for instance, like now we already mentioned Disney, and we know there's a whole lot of stuff going on up under that Disney umbrella. But say for instance, like somebody like Keke Palmer, her roles stayed with her age. Like she and you, like, well, I watch her on Instagram. So her parents don't play at all, but her mom really don't play. But but her roles came along with her age. So she wasn't, 10 years old doing something that a 15-year-old should have been doing. And so, yeah, so I feel like when it comes to child actors, the parent plays a very important part in filtering out what roles their child should have.
And I think that's what I was going to say too. I think that's the whole thing about this, because it's like when you really think about the bigger picture, the parents, I don't think, now I don't know, but I don't believe with the way that acting has gone for me, there's any way that a child can submit themselves for something like that. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen it where children can be able to submit themselves for roles. So either it's like you're getting submitted by an agent maybe, or like I say, or a parent or somebody like that is looking up information. You know what I mean? So, I mean, unless maybe the only way I could see it is maybe if something was truly independent and then maybe they email their own information in if they know how to do that. Like, but I ain't seen where a child be able to, submit themselves without.
Look. But it may not be the parent. So the parent may rely a lot on the agent or the management. And those two, it's about the dollar for them. So it's like, okay, well, let me get you these roles. You get paid, I get paid. and the child end up doing the role. So the parent needs to be a part of every step of the
But that's
process.
what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way. Like, how is that child getting to the audition? How is that child getting on set? Like, their parent has to be involved at some point. Like,
No, because look, a lot of these child actors, their parents who have been molested and stuff. Oh well, there was with their manager. There was with their agent. There's a movie I'm gonna tell you about too. They were with the some type of chaperone that we gave permission so that the child could do the work because they're still working or they still got other kids they have to watch. So they're not a part of the complete process. They just know, oh well, you're going to do a gig. But there's this show on BET. There's this show on BET called Dark Money. BET Plus Dark Money. And it's about this kid actor. His parents let him go shoot this big movie, and the kid came back not the same. But they trusted the producers, they trusted the management, they trusted everybody and allowed their kid to fly out somewhere and go film. Right, because they couldn't go. They were regular people still trying to make money to survive.
well, I guess obviously ain't gotta be.
Me and just saw the bigger picture and saw they didn't look at the small stuff, they looked at the bigger picture. Ooh, they would be making a whole lot of money. We don't have to do this anymore. Let's send them on and they make the movie. They won't have to do this. But again, like you said, they're looking at small. They're looking at that big mushroom, but not looking at them as it, as go off.
Yeah, because anything can happen, and then if you're not, you can say, okay, well, I signed this contract. Y'all are gonna take care of my kid. You're gonna do what is in my child's best interest. No, nobody can do for your child like you can. You're gonna make sure as a parent that nothing happens, that everything is taken care of, and then if something's not right, you're like, hold on now, this ain't what we discussed. Are you okay? So it can happen, but I feel like a lot of people are like, oh well, I don't want to be the parenter. You still don't have to be the manager, but you make sure you go with your child to make sure that everything is by the book, ain't nothing going on. Oh well, we need you to stay in the trailer. No, my child ain't staying in the trailer. I'm not staying in the trailer. I'm going on set. Now I know how to be quiet and watch what's going on. So
like news to me, 10 plus acting. I ain't never seen a parent not be involved with their child and stuff. But I mean, obviously it happens, and we all need to be on our jobs. We say it in every episode on God, Sex, and Love, man.
Thanks for me.
I know we could be talking about this. What you guys say? Something say, Ryan?
I want to add one more thing in there, and everybody has some very valid points. The thing that I'm looking at is where is the standard within the parents to the children? Where's the standard at? Because on the acting level, and this is what my acting coach taught me, she's out of New York, what they don't see is that there's a spirit that is connected to the character. If you get with the spirit that is connected to the character, the question is, do you want to act out this character or do you not? It's either yes or no. Because what happens is that after you're done and the set is done, everybody walks away, everybody wrapped up the crew, everybody else is done. When they're done, you still gotta deal with that spirit because there's an emotional connection that you just did during rehearsal with that character. But they don't know how to decipher or discern how to separate it. That's the issue. But then also, where's the standard with the mom being involved in their child's admirations and aspirations to acting or with being involved in the entertainment industry? See, my mother was involved with everything that I did. within entertainment and within athletics. But because of the standard that she implemented, it helped me to become the man that I am today. Because there were certain roles that I did not partake in. I said, no, thank you. Y'all didn't even know this. Y'all know the TV show Empire? When Empire first came on, first season, the casting director reached out to me. This is when they were filming in New Orleans. Now, they saw my resume, they saw my headshot, all that stuff. They said, we'd like to look at anything like that. Come to New Orleans for the audition. I said, okay, cool. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Then, when they sent me the sides to the character, with the young man who got in trouble, Jesse, I didn't know that he was playing this type of role, right? Even though I fit the skills and the criteria and things like that. When I found out that they wanted me to act out a particular scene that goes against my morals, my faith, and my convictions, I said, no, I can't do that. No, thank you. But we're talking about a child in that age bracket and what we just witnessed, 10, 11, 12 years old, whatever. Where's the mom involved? Or where's the dad involved in that child's aspirations? And tell them, no, we're not going to do that because that's not what we're trying to set. Same thing with Chadwick Boseman. He showed us very perfectly. He's like, nah, I'm not going to play a slave role. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play a pimp. I'm not going to play no thief. I'm not going to play no thug. I want to play positive images. So it's the same thing with the young girls that are coming into the industry as well, too. Where is the standard and where is the bar that's being set for them? Like, you don't have to take that role. Move on and just wait, hold it out, and just get something else. So that's my question for all that stuff.
Okay.
Hey. Well, I don't know, y'all. I mean, like I said, I know we can get going on the subject. I mean, there's a lot of things to say about this, and a lot of different levels to be on. But I know we gotta we'll get ready for the episode and everything like that. So, I mean, does anyone have any like final thoughts or something that you haven't said that you want to say right now for the people? Obviously, this is the part 2. I'm sure. This is
just reiterating, make sure you are in every aspect of your child's life, and then trust after you provided all that guidance and knowledge and love, that when they get older, that we can continue that that knowledge, that will continue applying that in their daily lives.
okay. Everybody else quiet.
I mean, he summed it up, but like, really, I like what he said. I like what he said, but for me, I would say, protect your children, teach your children, pray for your children, and give them what the industry is not providing for them, because after all the glitz and all those things have been removed, at the end of the day, they still got to know who they are and what God has called them to be. And don't just do it because you're following the trend. Don't do it because, you know, oh, I want to be in it because of the fame and the fortune and all these things. No. Don't believe in the hype. Don't believe in the smoke and mirrors and all that stuff. But again, the concern is we need to protect our children from this agenda that is happening and what's being forced. Like, we're not going to go down that path. We're going to stay on the straight and narrow as much as we can.
It's good. It's good.
I'm gonna just say, I know it early, you know, it's a village, but in 2020 and move forward, you just really have to know your village. You really have to know your village before you allow anybody else to help take care of your kids. You need to know your village from inside and out, from into their house, outside of their house, how they're living, what they're doing, because you don't want some villages raising your kid. You might end with inheritance.
Well, there you got there you all have it, friends. Well, I just want to thank each and every one of you all for joining this conversation. Thank you all for your time. And thank you, people, for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of God, Sex, and Love. Keep this conversation going. And let's protect the children. Hashtag protect the children. Save the children.
Right.
All right, y'all. Bye.